All. Hope you have gone through the tutorial on functions. So in this tutorial, we will see what are the scopes of functions, what is a recursive function, etc. So first we will discuss what is the scope of a function. So calling a function depends upon the scope of the function. First, a function with local scope. So a local scope means if a function is declared within a function, it is called local function. Okay. So you have seen functions declared within main functions, right? So if a function is declared within a function, then it is called local function, and it can be called only from that function which holds its declaration statement. So if I have a main function and within that function I have declared another function sum, then I can call the function within the main function. Sum can be called within the main function. So it can be called only from function which hold its declaration statement. Now what is a global scope? If a function is declared at the beginning of the program, outside all the function, it is called global function. That is if the function is declared at the beginning of a program. Okay, if we have declared the function outside the main function, then you can call that function within main because it is a global function. Okay, so this is to be simple. If a function is declared outside the function, it is called global function. If it is declared within a function, it is called local function. And related to scope, global function can be called anywhere from a program since it is declared outside. But local function has a local scope and it can be called by only a function which have its declaration. Hope it is clear. Now return value. This return value we have seen in many examples, right? So a function except void have a return statement, and a function can return only a single value. Whenever we have return void, I have discussed that as a function is not returning any value, we are writing void there. Similar, so that is the case. If a function does not return any statement or value, it will represent as void. And a function can return only one value. Multiple values cannot be returned by a function. Then there are mainly three types of functions based on the return value. One, computational functions. From the name itself, we can understand compute means calculate, right? So functions that calculate or compute the function and return value. For example, it performs addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, right, like that. So functions that calculate or compute the function and return value. For example, string length. It will get the total number of length of characters or total number of characters contained in a string. Second is manipulative functions. So manipulative functions, from the name you can guess, manipulate. Okay, they won't calculate, but they manipulate the information and return success or failure code. For example, compare. So if strings are equal, it will return 0. If it is less than, it will give a negative number. If it is greater, it will give a positive number, right? Next is procedural functions. So procedure means it will execute some operation. So function that performs an action but it does not return any value. For example, clear screen. Okay. For clear screen, when we call clear screen, the output screen will get cleared. So it is performing an action but does not return any value. Now, functions and arrays. So we have discussed what is an argument or parameter. Okay, the data that we pass to function is known as argument. So even arrays can be passed as arguments. This I have discussed in the previous tutorial itself. I have also mentioned that they will be transferred by using our reference. Okay, so call by value and call by reference is there. We will be taking call by reference for passing arrays, and we need not have to indicate that ampersand in the case of arrays. Why? Because array itself acts as a pointer. Okay, array index itself acts as a pointer, so we don't need that ampersand in the case of passing parameters. So this is an example of passing arrays as parameters. hash include I used dot h and hash include conio dot h. So this is our display function. Have two arguments, an array and an integer variable. Okay, integer array and an integer variable. So int I, for I equal to 0, I less than an I plus plus, cout ai. So this display is a function which receives an array and an integer variable, and it will display the elements of the array. This is our main function which calls the previous function. So clear screen, I've declared array of 10 n. I enter the size of array n, enter the array elements. For I is equals to I less than an I plus plus, I have read the array elements. Now for displaying the elements, I am using the function display, and I am passing the array as well as the number. So I will get the output as the number of elements that I have entered. Now next important topic is recursive function. Recursive function means a function that calls itself repeatedly. Okay, a recursion is a property to call itself. So recursive function is a function that calls itself in its function definition. And since it is calling itself repeatedly, there should be some condition or criteria to make an end of this function call. So else function will repeat infinitely, causing the program to run out of memory. This is a program to find factorial of a number using recursion. So we have discussed a program to find the factorial. Now this is using recursion. Now see, I have included the files, header files. This is our function. See, int factorial indent. So this means its return type is an integer. Then factorial is a function name, and parameter is an integer number. Okay, it takes an integer number as input. Now, if n is less than or equal to 1, okay, return 1. Means factorial of 1 is 1, right? So if it is less than or equal to 1, we will return 1. Else we should return n into factorial of n minus 1. See here, n into factorial of n minus 1. I am again calling this function. So suppose I have given n equal to 3, what will happen? 3 into factorial of 2. Okay, so here I have 3 into, then again factorial of 2 is called. So here it will again call 2 into factorial of 1. Okay, then it will again factorial of 1, it will terminate. So I will get the result as 3 into 2 into 1, 6. So this is how this recursion operation this is my main function. Clear screen, index y, enter numbers x, y equal to factorial of x. Since the function is returning an integer number, we must receive it in some value, some variable. That is why I have assigned y equal to factorial of x. Okay, then we will output the factorial. Now we'll see the types of variables. So since as we have a global function, local function, etc., variables also there are these categories of variables. First one is global variable. As a variable defined or declared outside all the functions are called global variable and can be accessed by all functions. Automatic variable or local variable is declared within a function and is accessible only in that function. Okay, we do not have to specify any keyword auto for that, because automatically variables declared within a function is considered as automatic variables. Now when come to static variables, they are initialized, okay, once in a program. It cannot be further, we cannot initialize it further, and the changes that happen to the static variables, it can be with the sum of the operations. Okay, it changes its value with respect to its initial value, and initialization can happen only once, as also local to a function. Okay, so our next variable is a register variable. Okay, so register variable means the value will be stored in a register rather than in the memory. So type of local variable with keyword register, and since its address is in a register, means we are using register for storing the variable, we cannot access the address. Okay, and register variable cannot be global or static. This is a program to find the Fibonacci series of a number. Now, these are the header files. This is the main program. Now, a equal to 0, b equal to 1, c comma I comma n. This is an example just to show different type of variables. Now enter the limit. Limit means if I am giving the number as 5, it will print 5 numbers of a series. Now see out A and B. What is A and B? 0 and 1. Initially it will be 0 and 1. That's why we are displaying it. For I equal to 0, I less than minus 2, I plus plus. Why n minus 2? Because already we have displayed A and B, or two numbers. That is why from the total count I am decrementing 2 here. C equal to A plus B. Okay, last two numbers we are adding. Now A equal to B and B equal to C. Now I am shifting the values of A and B because next time I want to add B and C. So A should be the value contained in B and B should be the value contained in C. That is why I have made this change. And C out C. C will get displayed. So this loop continues till n minus 2. So this is a sample output. Initially when A equal to 0, B equal to 1, and I gave n equal to 5. So 0 and 1 is displayed as per this statement. Then when I equal to 0, C is computed. C equal to A plus B. So I got 1. Then it is interchange. A became 1 and B became 1 because A equal to B and B equal to C. Then print C, right? So in addition to this, I got one more number here, 1. Okay, then I became 1. When I became 1, what will happen? It will first compute the value of A and B. So C equal to 2. Then A got interchanged to 1, B got interchanged to 2. Then display C. So I will display 2 here. Then I is again incremented and I became 2 here, C became 3 here, and A2, B3, and I got 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. Then a loop will get exited. So this is an example for using the variables. Now we will see a function to check whether a given number is palindrome or not. This is a very important question as it will be repeatedly asking for your university exams. So you should understand this thoroughly. Okay. So you know what is a palindrome, right? So if we read that particular string from left to right and from right to left, you should get the same string. So this is our header files. So main program starts. You should clear screen and ind reverse equal to 0. Enter a number C in n. Okay. Here I am getting a number to check. Okay, that's why it is initialized to integer and I am getting a number in n, and I equal to n. I am copying that number to a particular variable I. Then while n is greater than 0, okay, while n is greater than 0, I should perform this much. What is I am performing? D equal to n mod 10. See the logic of this program is, if I have a number, I will find the reverse of the number, okay, and I will store in a particular variable reverse. Initially reverse is 0 and n contains our number, so I will store the reverse of this number in the variable reverse. Then I will check whether I and reverse are same. If they are equal, I will display it as a palindrome. If it is not equal, I will display it as not a palindrome. So when first I have to reverse the number, that is I from 3443 I should get 3. So how will I get 3? D equal to n mod 10. So whenever we take modulus value, I will get the remainder. So here from 3443, if I do mod 10, I will get value as 3. Okay. So then n equal to n by 10. Okay, so here 3443, right? So when I get it, take by 3, I will get 344. Okay, so this number in the unit place, it should go to thousands place. For that we are doing this. Okay, n is equal to n by 10, 344. Then reverse equal to reverse into 10 plus d. So why I did this is, from next thing I have to compare only 344. For that I am doing the division. Then reverse equal to reverse into 10 plus d. Okay, so reverse initially is 0, so when 10 is 0 plus d. D is now what? 3. So I got 3. Okay, so then when n is greater than 0, while n is greater than 0, I should perform this. So since we have n equal to 344, this check is true. So 344 is greater than 0. So what will happen? D equal to n more 10. That is 344 more 10. I will get 4. Then n equal to n by 10. Now 344 is n. So n by 10 it will become 34. And reverse is equal to reverse into 10 plus d. Now reverse is 3. So 3 into 10 plus 4, I will get 34. Okay, then again 34 is our n is greater than 0. Again find d as 4, n as 3, and reverse as 344. Again 3 is greater than 0, so d is equal to 3, n equal to 0, reverse equal to 3443. So n now became 0, we will get exited from this loop. So if now I have reverse as 3443, so I is equal to reverse, so it is a palindrome. So this is the logic. We will get the number, we will find the reverse of a number and store it in another variable, and we will compare it. So hope you have understood everything about functions, right? So thanks for watching.